What's up, good people? Welcome to Monday Night Live. Oh my goodness, I am so excited to be with you guys. This is a special show that I started a couple of weeks ago on my Wednesday show, Design Love. Someone was asking about having live how-tos and tutorials. And although I have videos on my channel, which are step-by-step, they said they wanted to have that live experience. So I started doing Monday Night Lives. So for those of you who have never been on my channel before, I am Denise Joy, designer, artist, and creator of the Furaha Method of Joyful Design. By the way, furaha means joyful in Swahili. So tonight, for tonight's Monday Night Live, we are talking all about wallpaper. Now I'm going to do a demo of peel and stick wallpaper, but I'm going to talk about pretty much all kinds of wallpaper. So it's not just limited to that. So if you are watching this replay and you're watching it on another platform, make sure you subscribe to my channel. You can just go to www.customonabudget.com and hit subscribe. That way you don't miss a single episode. You don't miss any of my dramatic makeover videos or my Monday Night Live and my Wednesday night show. That's a live show. It's Design Love every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So one of my resources that I love for pattern and color is this awesome book called The Power of Pattern. I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, The Power of Pattern. And this is a book that has it's a resource guide by Susanna Salk, and it really takes you through the history of pattern and the different kinds of pattern that one can use, from floral to nature to animal to toile, paisley, damask stripes, and geometrics and abstracts. And it really helps you begin to understand the different kinds of both wallpaper or even fabric patterns that could be available for, for you to play around with in your home. This is a page about tropical wallpapers. And again, this is a gorgeous, this is a velvet patterned wallpaper. I recommend that if you're going to hang wallpaper in your home, that you read up about it, watch some videos, learn from this video. You don't have to order this book, obviously, but certainly just find out more about that kind of treatment that you want to either DIY and put it in your home, or work with a designer to help you make a great selection for the room that you want wallpaper to go in. Wallpaper can be put in many different places. It's not just for walls. Believe it or not, you can wallpaper furniture pieces, tops, insides of drawers, insides of cabinets, back of cabinets. You could wallpaper the back of bookshelves to give a wonderful depth and accent to maybe a cream colored or white or gray colored bookcase. You can put wallpaper on the front facings of your stair risers. Obviously, you can put it on a wall. You can put wallpaper on the ceiling. So you're really kind of unlimited in terms of where you actually put wallpaper to really give your space a true wow factor or statement element in the room. What kinds of tools will you need? Now, you're going to need a couple of things that I have used. I have hung peel and stick wallpaper. I've had custom wallpaper, meaning I selected the wallpaper from a custom line, and then I hired someone to hang it. It needed adhesive, and it was grass cloth. I have a sample I'm going to show you. But still, if you're going to do peel and stick, you need a couple of things. And so number one is any wallpaper that you purchase is going to come with some instructions. So you want to read the instructions that come with the paper that you have purchased, particularly if you're going to do it yourself. But I recommend, even if you're not going to do it yourself, like I said, if learn as much as you can, still read the instructions. Honestly, unfortunately, you would be surprised that sometimes people don't always know everything that they need to do for a project. So you want to read the instructions that come with the paper that you have ordered. And I recommend you use a level. A level is going to be very helpful in making sure that you keep things even and straight. Because, sometimes people think, well, I'll just line it up against the corner of the wall or the top of the ceiling in the room. Well, the space isn't always square. So the ceiling might not actually be level if you use that as your level line, and then you end up with a crooked piece of wallpaper. And that's the last thing you want. So get yourself a level. I have a couple of different size levels. This is my second smallest level, but make sure you have a level on hand. You also want a X-Acto knife. This is great for getting in some tight corners and making some really sharp. This is very sharp. Don't cut yourself, but this is terrific for cutting in like hard to fit space. You'll want a pair of scissors. Make sure that these are scissors that you're not going to use on fabric later, because you don't want the sort of that residue, the adhesive residue on the peeling stick to get on the edge of the scissors, and then you go and you try to cut your fabric and it's just a mess, because you are doing fabric projects. Make sure you keep your fabric scissors for only use those for fabric. You also want these smoothers that you can order. One of the wallpapers that I'm going to show you came with its own smoother, and this the wallpaper that this smoother came with was ordered from Spoonflower, which is a terrific site to order really unique wallpapers. It's a place where artists and designers, quite frankly, sell their own custom designed wallpaper. It's fantastic, pretty good prices too. But this smoother came with that. And then you can order a kit, you can purchase a kit from a big box store. You can get something as small as this. This is, if you're going to DIY, this is about the kind that you're going to use, and you're going to use to smooth and push out air bubbles. But then they have this flatter one, and it also has this kind of, it has a felt edge on here so that you could smooth your paper and not do as much damage, like catch a corner and tear. And we'll get to that in a minute when I show you an example of how to peel the paper off. But you want these tools available, get them in advance, and practice. Like, basically, I'm showing you all a practice situation where I'm putting some wallpaper on this old cabinet door. But I recommend, if you're going to DIY, don't just start on the wall. Practice on, if you don't have an old door, I also have a cardboard box back here. I'm sure you might have a box like this where you got something from Amazon or something, order something. So practice on something. So let's look at some, I forgot one more thing. I also use this. This is actually a fabric ruler that I use when I'm cutting fabric for quilting or other projects. But I find that I have a long enough table, or you could lay this on the floor. This obviously has a great straight edge and it's squared, so you can get a really nice lineage here if you do not have a level. But again, I have a level that's longer than this, in fact, but this is wonderful for holding everything flat. So you don't have to go out and buy this, but if you have something like that on hand, use it. All right, so where you can put wallpaper: walls, on furniture, on stair treads, on the ceiling. Yeah, you can do it on the front of cabinets. You can do it on the inside of cabinets, the insides of drawers. You can really get creative with how you bring a color pop or a statement moment into a room. So let's look at some different wallpapers. First, I'm going to show you some non-peel and stick wallpapers. Non-peel and stick means that these papers would go on a wall or on a surface using a wallpaper adhesive. And you can certainly do adhesive wallpaper on your own, but I would say look at some videos, read up about it so that you understand the process. This first wallpaper that I'm showing you is a grass cloth wallpaper. It's very heavy. You see that movement in there? I'm kind of waving it here. You might even be able to hear it. It's really a heavy paper. And I hired someone to hang this. I've used grass cloth in my own home 3 times, and I've used it with several clients. And clients really tend to love this. It brings a wonderful textural element into a space. This one happens to be. It's really an orange color. It kind of looks brown in this light, but it's a beautiful kind of rust burnished orange color with light hints of gold and light brown throughout and some other darker tones. And grass cloth is it is a paper product, and so you can get it in different weights. And I'm going to turn it around so you can see the back. So this is the back of it. And if you were going to be hanging this, you would have the wallpaper paste. I'm not going to walk you through what it all entails, but I just wanted to show this to you and mention that when you are using wallpaper paste to hang wallpaper, you have to make sure that the wall is properly primed. You do not want to hang wallpaper that requires wallpaper paste on a freshly painted wall. You want that wall, in fact, to be primed, and most wallpaper installers want it to be white. They want the primer to be white or a neutral color. Sometimes they might ask you to try to color match, but anyway, my experience has been that they've always asked for it to be white and that it is flat, that the the primer is flat, there is no sheen to it whatsoever, and that the paint has cured for at least 3 days. So that's just something to keep in mind when you are going to use wallpaper adhesive. Here's another example of a wallpaper that would require adhesive. This has this really, oh, I wonder if you can see that. Yeah, I really love this Starburst paper. It's a heavyweight paper. It's acrylic coated, so you could use this in like a bathroom. Isn't that just the most fun design on there? I just love it. Honestly, I'm just looking for a place to use this. I've been looking at a couple of different pieces of, might I maybe use this on some furniture or something. I certainly don't need to redo another room in my house, but this is something that you want to keep in mind when you want to put wallpaper where you might have a lot of wetness. You want to make sure that the paper is appropriately coated so that it will withstand moisture. And again, this would require an adhesive, and this is a really thick piece of paper, very different than the weight of the peel and stick wallpaper that I'm going to show you next. So this next wallpaper is this, which is actually hanging here. This was left over from a project that I did. I actually have a video on my YouTube channel of a college student's dorm room. And you know, an apartment, you're renting it, right? And so you typically can't do a lot of different things in a space because you got to give it back once your lease is up. But this young man, his parents wanted him to have the wow factor college. He had a single apartment, 1-bedroom apartment, and so he wanted this funky kind of brick wall look, right? So we sourced this, or I found this brick look peel and stick. It's really lightweight, very much lighter than the other 2 adhesive required wallpapers. And I really like this one because it had these numbers on the back and some grids on the back that you could kind of, you know, cut and use as markings to cut things with, and you know, use as guides. So you could really cut from the back, measure, and you know, your wall space and everything. And so this is a lighter one. And then I have one more. This is one that I got from Spoonflower. This is pretty heavy, but this is still peel and stick, but this is a vinyl. You can even hear that. That's that vinyl material. This is an awesome piece of a product here. It's a peel and stick. It's much pricier than this one. This one came off of Amazon. That's another thing to talk about, where you can get these papers. You can get peel and stick, and you can get adhesive wallpapers that require adhesive. You can order those from Amazon. You can order those from big box stores, both peel and stick. Really, you can get wallpaper practically anywhere. You don't have to only go to a design house, but certainly that's available to you. There are also some discount online design houses I've used in the past to order wallpaper for clients, and you can get things, you just kind of got to shop around, right? That custom on a budget look, it can happen, but you just have to look and shop around so you can get what you want. So this particular piece, I have a piece of this cut, which I'll show you here so that you can just see on the back of this one, there are no markings. There are no grids, no lines like the one that I picked up from the Amazon. And that was a great price, the one from Amazon. So, but anyway, I still used, I actually used this ruler to lay on top and cut this piece out, and we'll just play around with it in a moment, and I'll put it on this sample board here. So some of the things to remember when you are putting your peel and stick wallpaper up, you want to prepare your wall. You want to make sure you take a clean, lint-free type of a dust rag and wipe down your wall. Do this a couple of days in advance if you're doing the peel and stick, so that everything is dry and you don't have any any residue or any moisture there to get in the way of applying that up on the wall. You don't want to use peel and stick wallpaper on highly textured walls. You do want a flat surface, something that is flat. So if you have a texture treatment on your walls or any surface, you do not want to use wallpaper, because it just will not adhere well and it will not look nice. Where do you begin? I tend to begin in the middle of a wall. If I'm doing a wall, I tend to begin in the middle, and I'm going to measure from the right corner, from the right corner going towards the left, and I'm going to get my center point, and I'm going to use my level to make sure that I make that center point, make sure that it's level. So I'm going to apply my paper off of the level mark, not using the corner of the wall because the wall may not be level, or I'm not going to use the top of the ceiling or the baseboard because, again, those areas may not actually be level. And you want, particularly with something like this brick pattern, because there's a pattern on here, you want that level. Now, if we were using this, well, you still would want this level too, because there are some markings in here. So if we applied this and it was crooked, like that would just drive you crazy. So you still do want it level. There's, I don't even have a paper here on hand where we wouldn't want everything to be level. So apply from the center. Now, if you're going to do stair treads or on a piece of furniture, you would just do that as a visual guide to make sure that things are center. If you have a pattern, that the pattern is exactly where you want it before you start everything. So let me see. I made some notes here. Make sure I didn't forget anything before I jump into my sample. And if you have any questions, make sure you drop them in the chat. I'll be checking these after the live uploads and the replay, and I'll make sure that I respond. So I already cut this sample here, and I'm just going to peel it off. This is really a fairly thin piece of paper. This is the thinnest peel and stick paper I've ever seen, actually. So when you have this backing on here, it very easily peels off, okay? And so I'm just going to lightly put this up here, and I'm going to use my level just to check and make sure that, yep. Oh, I could move this side up just a hair on this side over here. Okay, and I'm going to do it from the top. So I'm going to show you the two different kinds of smoothers, basically. Again, this one here is what you're going to probably use the most. But the challenge with this is if you push too hard, you could tear the paper. And so this one, which has the felt, this black part is a felt and it's soft. This you can hold at an angle, and really you're moving this along to take any air bubbles out of the paper as you're applying it to the wall. So I'm going to move this up and give you an example. So let me try this one first. So this smoother here, you want to hold it at an angle. You don't want to push down. You want to push, you don't want to push into it. You want to push down. And so pull this out from the wall just a little bit and then push at an angle down until you get that. And then on this side, the same, you're holding it at an angle here to get that nice smooth quality. And then if you want to use this felt piece, you can push that, and you're using the advantage of that felt as a protection to push out any other air bubbles. You don't want any air bubbles because that will destroy the look of the wallpaper. So this has this beautiful finished quality to it. So it's peel and stick, which means it's removable. So we'll just pick up the corner here and very carefully remove it. Now this cabinet, old cabinet door is painted with some satin paint, and that came off pretty easily. So you don't want to take the paper off repeatedly because you want the adhesive to still be usable. So although you can take this off if you get it crooked or you get something in it, I do not recommend you doing it repeatedly because you can remove the adhesive, and that would not be good because then you're wasting your paper. So we're just going to put this back on here. I'm using the felt, holding it at an angle. The felt one also has a straight edge on the other side, so if I wanted to, I could do the same thing I was doing with the red one, the larger one. I just love the felt one. It's really nice to use. Make sure I don't have any extra bubbles. So you see how I'm kind of holding the paper up, and then I'm using my smoother gently to push those air bubbles out. Very easy to do. You could do a wall. I would suggest if you have maybe like an 8x10 room or something like that, or 10x12, you could do a wall probably in about 30 minutes. Once you get that first piece hung and cut and everything, the first piece is going to take you the longest. But once you say, oh, I see how this goes, boom, you're going to fall into a rhythm. How much should you buy? Almost every site where you can purchase wallpaper has a wallpaper calculator, and all you need to know are the dimensions of the room. So if your room is 8x10, you'd put that in, and it would ask you for the dimensions, and it will tell you how many rolls you need to purchase, and it'll usually tell you to buy a little bit over, some overage, so you don't have to worry about that part. How easy is this? You can create a super duper dope wow factor in your room. Again, this is adhesive. This requires adhesive, but I just love this wallpaper so much. I again encourage you to check out some wallpapers that require adhesive. They are not super hard to do, and you can use those in your space too. I'm going to take this off and put up this last piece from Spoon Flower, and I'll see you all in the next Monday Night Live. So this piece from Spoon Flower is heavier, and again, this is much more adhesive to it, but the backing is very similar. You just take a corner, find a corner here, and boom, you have that piece. And so you want to peel about 4 to 6 inches down and put that piece. Again, I'm not making this because I'm using this as a sample, but I do think that this is, yeah, it is. Yeah, I was just making sure that it was level. So again, with our tools here, our smoother, there's paper under here. And so you would push down as you take the paper down. You see how I'm peeling the paper? See my hand right here? I'm peeling it, and I'm going a little bit at a time. So that's another tip. Go slow. Don't go fast. Don't go, oh my God, just take your time. You'll thank yourself for it. And so I'm going to switch up and use the one with the felt. Make sure there are no air bubbles here. And I'm just going to peel this all the way down and smooth it out until the backing is all done. Move this a little closer so you can see it. I probably should have done the whole thing with this. You can see this better than the brick pattern. But see, here's where I would use my little X-Acto knife. I got a little hanger here, so I just take that in there and cut that off. Remember your X-Acto knife, one of your tools, and just go over it. And isn't that just super gorgeous? You know, this pattern could be such a fun pattern on a piece of furniture. You could put something with this type of a pattern in a bathroom powder room. Would look very nice. You could put this on some stair treads. I mean, you could just really have some fun with a pattern with this type of energy in it. And you could even, let's see, this one here also just peels right off. Remember, that's the beauty of the peel and stick. You can remove it. You don't have to live with the paint, or you don't have to live with the adhesive wallpaper for, ever. You can use a peel and stick and get that totally dope look, custom on a budget buy that you are after, and transform your space. I hope that this has been valuable for you. Again, I highly recommend Wallpaper. I love Wallpaper. In fact, I try to talk everybody into doing Wallpaper, to be quite honest with you. Wallpaper is not out. It is so in. It is such a great design tool to have in your arsenal. And I do recommend this book, The Power of Pattern, Interiors and Inspiration, a resource guide by Susanna Salk. It's pretty dope with all types of materials and patterns that you can explore and kind of get that brain going to show you what is available for you out there. I really appreciate you joining, watching my videos with me here on Monday Night Live. I hope you had fun. I had a great time. Again, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'll be sure to check them out during the replay and answer them for you. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. This Wednesday's episode of Design Love, we are going to have a great time, and my alter ego design assistant, Sister Linda, she's going to be back with us. I hope you join us at 8:30 Eastern Time for Design Love on Wednesday nights. That's the Wind Down Wednesday edition. All right, you guys, I'm out. Had a great time. Thanks for joining me. Good night.